Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to have your soul shine? It's time for the Girlfriend Hour. We're so happy to have you here, and we can't wait for you to meet our incredible guests. But first, please put your hands together for our wonderful host, the enigmatic Shar Moore.
Welcome to episode 1 of our second series of the Girlfriend Hour. I'm absolutely overjoyed and humbled to be welcoming you back for another season. This has been such an incredible ride, and I'm loving seeing all of the juicy conversations happening over on our social media pages and on YouTube, of course. Please keep them coming. We have a terrific show in store for you today with some serious femme firepower. We'll cover topics such as thriving after divorce, how to tame your inner critic, financial fitness, and why it's so important for women to find financial confidence. And finally, we learn how one woman went from being sawn in half on stage to writing crime thrillers. Let's dive in, shall we? Our first guest today is the incredible Kim Yabsley. Kim is a funding acquisition strategist and founder of Everyday Strategy, a business dedicated to helping entrepreneurs unlock government grants to drive success. She is the secret weapon behind many small businesses' success stories. It's an absolute inspiration, an amazing mum, and a champion of women supporting women. Let's put our hands together for Kim Yabsley. Hello. Nice to have you. Welcome. Excited.
Yes. So exciting to be here.
Yes. Look, there's so much I want to chat with you about, Kim, and the work that you're doing is such an important part because a lot of businesses do struggle financially bootstrapping their brands, and to have that government support is quite critical for a lot of businesses. What was the catalyst for you starting your business?
Well, I've been self-employed for, 20 years now. And in that first business, we built a tech platform to help people benchmark culture. And we did that using government grants. And I'm a strategist by background. And what I realised in that process is that small businesses don't really understand the world of government grants. And so they're not able to use them as a growth strategy. So I really wanted to just, unlock the potential for people to use grants as another strategy to grow their businesses.
Fantastic. What advice would you give other entrepreneurs starting out their business?
There's so much, right? Like, entrepreneurship is a journey of self-discovery, like the biggest journey I've ever been on, of understanding and up-leveling myself. So my tips would be go early and go hard, investing in mentors and coaches who can support you to get the results that you want.
Yes, that's so true. And how do you know when to just trust your instinct rather than just, sometimes we have a set path and a business plan, but sometimes our gut instinct is saying, no, do this. How do we know which one to trust?
I think it's about balance. Like in any area of life, sometimes we tilt a little bit too far, to one end or another. And it's just about bringing that balance back and listening to what you're doing. Like, we all need a strategy to drive our actions, but we need to tune in to our bodies and our hearts and listen to, that inner voice, and then just follow that.
Yes. And that inner critic, some of them call it the itty-bitty what committee that sits on our shoulder, and that inner critic can get quite loud sometimes. So I'm sure if you're watching this at home, you've had that voice pop up when you decide to do something outrageous, and all of a sudden that voice comes up and gets really loud. How do you personally tame it?
Well, that's a work in progress. And I'm nearly 50 now, and I'm still working out how to be kind and loving with myself. But I think, those daily practices really help. So meditation, journaling, exercising, and just observing those thoughts that are not helpful and replacing them with something more kind.
Which isn't always easy to do. Do you have any particular tactics that pop into play when the wheels fall off?
You know what? I am blessed to have a gorgeous little 8-year-old boy, Archie, who's here today, waving at me in the audience.
Archie.
And he is super good at reminding me. He's always giving a voice to that part of me that loves myself. Mummy, you look so beautiful. Mummy, don't be so hard on yourself. So I think that is beautiful.
We all need an Archie. Do you rent your services out?
And also just the morning practice, like staying fit and healthy and keeping the balance, building that resilience over time makes a massive difference.
And Kim, with your business, you're dealing with a lot of business owners and a lot of people asking questions and wanting to get grants to grow their businesses. So how do you maintain flow? What does flow look like for you?
Well, I'm still working that one out too, but earlier this year...
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Earlier this year, I decided that I needed more balance. So I tried to, I started getting fit again, and I went to working only school hours so I could kind of balance that never-ending demand, because the day can otherwise never end when you're self-employed, as you know. So I think flow is about that question you asked earlier about just the balance, following through, taking massive action, but also having unwavering faith and just believing in what you do and focusing on the process rather than the outcome.
Yeah, that's so important. And sometimes we can get caught up in the process of it. And we can kind of forget to enjoy the journey as well. Do you find that?
Yeah, that's right. And at the end of the day, like, we want to enjoy our life and we want to feel good when we look back. So I try really hard to make sure that I am doing things that when I go to bed tonight, I'll be happy I did today.
Yes. And how important is corporate culture?
Well, it's so important. And corporate culture is my first and true love. And I think... most organisations understand and value the importance of it, but I think it's still a bit of a misnomer. What is culture?
Yeah.
So I think people are still struggling to comprehend that culture is really just the sum total of our relationships with the people that we work with. And we spend 80,000 hours now in our life at work.
Oh,
so
hang on a minute. Sorry, how many?
80,000. Yeah.
Work? Wow.
80,000 hours at work.
That's
so we want to be able to show up in that environment authentically.
Absolutely. And how do you define freedom?
Freedom. I've just been playing with the idea of freedom. I think freedom is about choice, having time to choose what you want to do.
Yes.
Having the money to say yes to things that you want to say yes to, and having the self-awareness to choose in any moment in which direction you want to go, and even down to what thought you want to follow. So what I've noticed is that the more advanced my business becomes, in many ways, the simpler my life is becoming. Like, when I think about if I achieved all of my goals, what would I do? It'd be very similar to what I'm doing now. Just living simply by the beach, hanging out with my little boy and my friends, visiting my mum.
Look at the smile on his face. Oh, so
well, Archie's actually starring in a movie himself soon. So.
Oh, really? We'll have to have him on the show.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about some of the success stories maybe you've had with working with clients with grants. What have they been able to achieve? Oh,
we've had some amazing examples. The thing with grants is that people often don't understand. They're only on average 17% successful. So you really have to apply for 6 grants before you're going to win one. And people often apply for 1 or 2 and then they get demoralised that they don't win and they sort of pull out. So we work with clients to strategize about how to use grants as a growth strategy. So we've got one client at the moment who's revolutionising the town planning industry by automating reporting. We've got clients that have been able to scale overseas to grow their teams much sooner than they would otherwise. So grants are really just a way that we can think about growing sooner than we might otherwise have, and leveraging the opportunity that's out there for small businesses.
And it's a great thing that the governments are doing to support small business, but a lot of people don't know. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Yeah, no
That's
worries.
Fantastic. But don't go anywhere. We do want to have another chat with you. Our next guest, Michelle Flowers, turned her life-changing divorce into an opportunity to help others recover from broken relationships and learn to thrive, not just survive after divorce. Michelle is the founder of I Am For You, an incredible coaching service helping professionals escape the emotional captivity of divorce. Let's give a warm welcome to Michelle, joining us from the USA. Hello. Thank you for joining us, Michelle. Oh, my gosh. So great to have you here.
Thank you, Shar. It's a pleasure to be here. I truly appreciate everything that you do, what you have created. This movement, this feminescence movement is just incredible. So applause to you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Michelle, tell me about the idea that life happens for you, not to you.
Yes. Okay. Life happens for you, not to you. I learned this from my coach. And when I learned this concept, it was a complete paradigm shift. I mean, it was a mind blow because it allowed me to start to see my struggles and my problems in a new light. So the way I like to think of it, Shar, is a victim mentality and a victor. If life is happening to me, I'm blaming, I'm accusing. Nothing is my fault when life is happening for me. I'm accountable for my actions. I'm responsible for my choices. When there's an obstacle, I look for the opportunity. And so, a great example of this is my divorce. In the beginning, when I was going it alone, too embarrassed to let people know I was going through all the pain that I was going through, I said, it's his fault. The marriage is over because of him. I was a perfect wife. I didn't do anything wrong. But you see, when you have the life happens to me, you have the attitude that I'm not to blame for anything. Nothing is my fault, but everything is everybody else's fault. Now flip the script. Now, if I look at life happening for me, yes, I went through a divorce. Same situation. You can't control what's going on around you. But when life is happening for you, you realize that you always have control over your response. And so since the divorce, yes, it was a horrible experience. But the personal growth that I've gone through to get to this point, the women that I'm serving all over the planet, I can see light in what was a dark situation. So that's the way I see it. And it just really changed the way I looked at problems.
That's beautiful. There's so many golden points in there that I hope if you're at home, you're writing some of this down. Michelle, what was the aha moment that led you down the path of helping other people? Was there one sort of aha, it's like, wow, I need to help others? Yeah. What was it?
Well, I'm going to have to tell on myself first, Shar, because I had hired a coach after the state awarded half of my retirement of 25 years in the divorce settlement. So I hired a business coach because I went into panic mode. I got to make the money back. And I got into network marketing. I decided all the times I had failed in the past, this time I don't have time to play. I'm going to hire a coach. This coach, although he was helping me with business, he would constantly say, hey, Michelle, you ever think about helping other women that have gone through a divorce? I ignored him. Other times he'd say, Michelle, have you thought about helping other women that are struggling? It didn't land because here's where I'm telling on myself. I didn't care about anybody else. I was only worried about me surviving. But little did I know, Shar, he was planting those seeds. And one time we met, he said, Michelle, do you know what you've been through? Yeah. Do you know what you've accomplished? Yeah. And then he began to list the different things that I had accomplished. And he said, Michelle, imagine how many women have not done A, B, C, and D, and you could help them. Mm. Now, that's not the aha. Here's when the aha happened. When he said that to me, something shifted inside. But I went to work the next day and I was talking to a friend and I said, I'm thinking about being a divorce coach. I don't really know, but I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. She said, I haven't told many people this, but when I got my divorce, I tried to take my life 3 times. She said, what you are going to do is not only going to change lives, Michelle. Wow. You're going to save lives. Wow. That was the aha moment.
Wow.
That just I drove home from work crying because, in front of people, we wear this mask. But when I got alone, just the tears fell. And then I just knew that's
Oh, gosh, that's given me chills, absolute chills. Wow, what a moment. What's been the most valuable lesson since starting I Am For You coaching?
The most valuable moment. Well, I would have to say it's what I've learned. Back before I got divorced, and those of you that have gone through divorce, it doesn't just happen overnight. You don't just wake up, oh, I'm going to get a divorce. There's signs that have been going on, but we tend to ignore them. We tend to look the other way. And as I think back to that time, I think I was borderline depressed. I decided I'm going to encourage myself. So I went online and I found these photos that were not the copyright kind, and of nature, beaches, mountains. I put inspirational quotes on them. And then in the corner, I put, I'm for you. Went to the local print shop, printed them out, put them around the house to encourage myself. Now, when I see those pictures, read the quote, the I'm for you was me saying back to myself, I got you. I'm for you. So I was encouraging myself. Now, fast forward to now that I'm serving other women, and I constantly found myself saying, remember, I'm for you. Remember, I'm for you. And then that's how I formed I'm For You coaching. But here was the lesson. Not everybody is ready to go all in on their healing. And Shar, I used to get so frustrated because women would pour their hearts out. Or they'd be in Messenger and there's all these things that they'd say. And I'd say, well, I'd love to be your tour guide for change. Where do we go from here? Well, is there a cost? Yeah, there's investment. Oh, well, I'm not doing that bad. I journal sometimes and I meditate and I got it under control. And Shar, I used to get so frustrated because I'm like, I have something that could help you. But here's what I learned. Not everybody's ready. And wherever you are in your journey, that is where you are supposed to be.
Definitely.
And I had to learn that it's okay for them to feel the feels, be where they are. Once someone is for themselves, then the I'm For You coaching really matters. But you first got to be for yourself and be ready to go all in on your healing.
Absolutely. I love that. And as we wrap up today, Michelle, how important is authenticity and honesty in business?
Woo. Honestly, well, Shar, when years ago when I first started trying to do business, my email was honestyisbestpolicy@gmail.com.
Oh.
Honesty, yeah. So honesty and authenticity are not only important in business, but they're critical in how we live life. And I like to think of it like this. People can see fake a mile away. Okay. People can tell when you're coming at them with an agenda.
Yes.
Now, if your only objective is to make a sale, then the only thing on your mind is, have I said all the things? Have I checked off all the boxes? You're not even listening to what that person needs. You're only worried about yourself. But if you look at every touch point that you have with people through your content, face to face or talking on the Zooms, if you think about, and this is what I do, what impact can I make on somebody's life? How can I be a blessing? How can I let my light shine? And then so feeling that way, when someone comes across my path, I'm not, and then, I know people are saying, well, Michelle, wait a minute, if you have a business, you got to make money. Yes, you do. But I also believe the more people that you impact, that abundance is going to come back to you.
Absolutely.
So you can be your authentic self, Shar, when you don't have the agenda of trying to make the sale. Because if you're trying to make the sale, you're trying to please that person. And you're trying to say stuff so they'll like you and make the purchase. But if you're just yourself and honest, that's where you make the impact. Regardless of if there's a sale or not, at the end of the day, you can say, you know what? I did what I set out to do. I let my light shine. And the blessings will come from that. I'm kind of a woo-woo, but I just believe that if you can transform and make a difference in people's lives, it will come back to you.
Yes, absolutely. Please don't go anywhere. We'd love to chat with you again in a few minutes for our D&M, but give Michelle a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. Stay there.
Thank you, Shar.
Our next guest, Carly Scharfenberg, is the founder and director of The Loan Suite, helping people fulfill their dreams through clever investment. Carly is a multi-award-winning mortgage and finance broker, and we're so lucky to have her here today. Help me give a girlfriend hour welcome to Carly Scharfenberg. How are you? Have a seat. So lovely to have you here. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. So, Carly, finance. Normally people go, yawn. But how did you get started, a female in finance?
Oh, I fell into NAB when I was 21.
You fell into NAB? What, just landed and fell into their floor?
No, I was on a mission to join the police force.
Oh,
And so
I could see you being a policewoman. Bit bossy.
bit old now.
Yeah.
I just applied at NAB and started as a teller and did 17 years through there and got sick of it and then started my own business.
Lovely. Yeah. And did you always have a passion for property? Is that something you've always done?
I bought my first one when I was 23.
Oh.
And so I've always been interested in it and just wanting to grow and succeed. And yeah, I like the numbers. So
the numbers behind it. So not the physical property, not the house with the grass and sand. It's actually the numbers behind the property.
Yeah, much to my husband's disgust because I like to buy and sell.
Why is it so important for women in particular to feel financially confident?
I don't think it's just specific to women. I think it's to men too. It should be an equal relationship where they both understand the finances and they both understand how to run the household finances and what each other are doing in their financial situation.
It doesn't happen a lot though in relationships. Like often relationships, one might be more dominant in
all the time.
In that side, yeah.
All the time.
And so sometimes it is where women aren't as confident or knowledgeable in that sense, and that's part of the reason why there's a lot of homeless women, I believe, over the age of sort of 50 and 60, is that they've had a divorce. Michelle, you could probably help them. And then Carly, helping them with that financial knowledge because they often didn't manage the bank accounts, they didn't take care of the money, and then they don't know how to actually do anything.
Yeah.
So it's
hard for them.
It's a real issue.
Yeah, definitely. It's not one job specific to one party in the relationship. It's something everyone should be understanding, and the lack of it being taught in school, I think, is a very important thing that needs to change in society as well.
Yes, and that's something that, if we can start it at that age where they're at school and teach them about money management, because even with our children, we found that they weren't taught any of this stuff. Yeah. How to spreadsheet, how to budget, it's not taught, and then they leave and it's like, I've got a paycheck. A day later, they've spent it all on lollies and Xbox games and, and movies. And then there's $1 left for another few weeks. It's like, they don't teach them anything. Yeah. So what's a piece of advice you'd give to someone looking to purchase their first home?
Speak to someone who's educated in finance and understands, so their banker or their broker or someone that can actually guide them right, not just their family and their friends. Get the right advice, especially in this changing market that's changing daily.
Yes. It is at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit of
Yeah.
What's the biggest mistake that people are making in purchasing property?
Being too greedy.
Too greedy.
Spending too much money and going in too heavy. They're buying a house and then they're needing that shiny new car in the driveway. That's what we've seen a lot of. And then they're struggling financially then.
They buy the big house and get the car to match it and then they can't afford it.
Yeah, start small. Walk before you can run.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I should have thought of that before I did a TV show. No.
You did a book.
Well, do a book first.
Do a book.
What's one thing you'd do differently if you were starting your business again?
I actually don't think I would do anything differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us how you started it then, because then that'll give us an idea of what to do. The blueprint by Carly Scharfenberg. Write this down.
No, I just believed in myself and thought I could do it and gave it a crack for 3 months and I achieved it and I haven't stopped since. So I've got my family telling me I have to slow down and stop taking on so much, but I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
When you work that out, can you please send me the message?
Exactly.
But we're all glad you did that, because here you are on a TV show on her birthday. Happy birthday. What a cool thing to do. Which leads me to my last and final question. What's your proudest moment?
Actually being here right now.
Oh, that's not on the cue card.
No, it's not. I never thought I would be able to do something like this. And massive achievement.
Well done.
Thank
amazing.
you.
Give her a round of applause. You've been amazing. All right, ladies, let's have a D&M. Follow me. Now, I'd love to welcome back to the floor Kim, Carly and Michelle to get deep and meaningful with me. This segment is all about peeling back the layers and getting real and raw on some really big topics. Today, I wanted to get your thoughts and perspectives, ladies, on identifying and coping with burnout. We take on so much in our day-to-day lives and assume that, maybe just a walk in the park or a hot bubble bath or a glass of bubbles is going to fix the burnout, but it doesn't. What are some things that we do to deal with burnout? And have you ever experienced it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think mildly, and taking time out, having people that you can rely on in your corner to help you out. I had a really close friend who's a broker and she helped me out in January this year. Oh. I just needed the ocean in my life and I needed to be just away from everything, and she helped.
Oh, that's great. So you put your hand up and ask for help, which is something that a lot of us don't often do. We can find that it's a real sign of weakness to say, I'm just not coping, can someone help? And we do need to get better at that, because when you've got those people that can step in and support, it makes all the difference. What about you, Michelle?
That's an interesting question, because I recently went through a burnout. But what I learned, Shar, was instead of looking at it as a burnout, I kind of looked at it as a spiritual reboot, because what I found myself doing, like I wasn't wanting to do anything having to do with the business. And I was like, this is weird, because I'm just going. But when we listen to our bodies and we just simply go, I know it sounds, esoteric to say just go with the flow, but it's the truth, because once you've gotten to the place where you've got that rest and you've had that time away, you're ready to jump back in. But I feel like when people try to rush it, that's when the stress comes. That's when they feel guilty and things like that. So I just kind of reframe it as an opportunity to just woosah.
Woosah. There's the official term. Woosah. And Kim, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's about just finding something that you love and doing more of that. So for me, I'm a single parent. I've got an amazing mum who helps out with Archie anytime I need some downtime. And I'm also an ocean swimming enthusiast. So most days we'll swim 2 or 3 kilometres in the ocean. And for me, there's just something about, being at the Earth's surface like that reminds me what I'm really part of.
And being chased by sharks is always a great way to get yourself out of any slump, isn't it? Put a bit of pep in your step.
So that's my tip. Find something you love and do more of that.
I love it. And so when you find that there's a girlfriend in your life who might be experiencing burnout, do you jump in and ask to support them before they ask for help? Is that something you know? Do you pick up the signs, Carly?
I think because you've been through it yourself and you can
see
know
it.
the feelings, and once you can identify that, just to let them know that you're there to help. And
And I think women are so good at that. Like my son's in year 3 now at school, and, I have some unlikely friends in that community who are amazing at taking care of each other, and we do what we can for each other. And they're different gifts we have to give each other, but I think we really do support, encourage and uplift each other with our own gifts.
Yeah, amazing. And Michelle, have you found that with people around you in your inner circle, that something's off and you just jump in and support before they ask?
I'm kind of a person that kind of steps back, and I believe that when a person is ready, they'll ask, but yet I'm going to make my presence known as someone who struggle with asking for help. There's so much power in proximity, and so many divorcees go it alone. If you can just get amongst other people, there'll be an opportunity where you can open up. But I'm kind of I'll stand back and let you, come to me.
Yes. Yeah, I'm far too pushy a friend then, because I can tell when my friends go quiet and they go MIA, I send search parties to certain people, and because I'm like, they're far too quiet. Something's not quite right in their life. So I love your approach, Michelle, but I'm certainly a bit more pushier than that. And I just jump in, and honestly, it's like I can feel it, and they'll go, yeah, things aren't good. I'm like, I knew it. And so how can I help? And even if they don't need help or ask for help, I still want them to know that I'm there to help if they do want it. So look, ladies, if you are watching this at home, or men or anyone, and you're experiencing burnout, it's possibly because you've taken on far too much yourself. So it's okay to ask for help in life, in business, in anything you're going through, because as human beings, innately within us, it is to help another human being. So please promise us on the Girlfriend Hour, we solemnly pledge that we will be here for you today, tomorrow, and every day moving forward, except on the days that we're on holidays. And we will have a bottle of wine chilled and ready to be at your service. Thank you, ladies, so much for being on our D&M today. Really appreciate it on our show. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Bye-bye. Wow. Big love. And I'm going to ask Kelly to come onto the show, please. Kelly and I are going to be a little bit naughty. Unscripted. There is no cue cards for this. Kelly and I are going to have a little bit of fun. Who's up for a little bit of fun? Did you come for fun? Excelente. So we are going to play isn't our prize wheel gorgeous? Our designer is very, very clever. Thank you to Erica for our beautiful prize wheel. We're going to have some fun today. Firstly, I'm going to let you know some of the prizes available on our prize wheel. So we have our grand prize is worth over $5,000. Excuse me. Can I play? No, maybe I can. We have prizes today from Be Styled for Life, from Storm in a D Cup. What a cool bra name, right? Business name. Women in Bloom. We have a pair of these cool shoes from Kicks. We have gorgeous Lisa Pollock gifts and a gorgeous gift from Fashion Flaunt. So we're going to now choose some fun people to come down and play with us. Is anyone here from another country? Oh, there's someone here from another country. Is there two? Did I get 2 finger points there? Ah, okay. So we've got a lady in the back there I can just see. Yes, that's you. Would you like to come down, please? Give her a round of applause. Come on. Hello, nice to meet you. What's your name? Sarah, nice to meet you. And where are you from?
From the UK, well, Wales.
Wales, okay. That's a long drive. No, a long flight.
It was a very long flight.
Long flight, yes.
Yes.
And when did you arrive?
Gosh, was it yesterday? I've lost track of...
Friday.
I've completely lost track of time.
Friday midnight. Oh, amazing. Kelly, you want to jump
Yes,
in?
they were a day in front.
Well, I don't know what day of the week it is.
That's all right, neither do I.
I've lost a day somewhere.
Well, we would love you to have a spin to see if you can win a prize.
Okay.
But first, is there a weight restriction to get home? What if you win the grand
The
prize?
grand prize, you're going to win one of everything.
I like that. I like that.
You can always leave them with.
So, Shar, tell us about the
What have we got here?
So this
Yes.
is the grand
Let's step
prize
back.
in this sparkly section in the middle, and our wheel is sponsored by the Be Styled for Life company. And behind every one of these numbers is another amazing prize. So the grand prize is obviously the best one to win.
Yes, come on, you
But
can
there
do
are
it.
some very cool other things like shoes and picnic
your
baskets.
shoes.
They're very comfortable.
Can I wear those at 80?
You can wear these at any age because they're
Are you
a
80?
sneaker with a boot.
13th of
Oh.
October.
Wow, that's awesome. Let me hold your microphone.
All right, so you've got to give it a big spin. Do you want to tell us a number or if you want to be on grand prize, and then we can give you lots of energy?
All right. I really like the number 3.
Number 3. All right, we're going to give energy.
Come
to
on, number 3.
Ready? Let's
Yes.
tap the 3.
Let's cheer.
Yep, give it a big spin. Yay.
Come on, number 3. 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 Oh, number 4.
Guess what? You are going to be wearing a pair of these shoes at 8.
Oh!
You have won a pair of 6 shoes.
You made that happen.
Thank you, Hans.
You manifested.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
My
That's
pleasure.
lovely.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You want to pose photo?
Congratulations. Thank you so much for playing. Amazing. All right, we'll be back right after this. Thank you.
It's never too late to become a cover girl. We're looking for incredible women to be profiled in our upcoming issue of Feminescence magazine. Share your story with an international audience, unlock new opportunities, inspire a new network of supporters. It's time to back yourself. We can't wait to hear about the magic that is you. Visit feminescence.com.au to find out more. Come on, what are you waiting for? Carpe diem, girlfriend.
Our next fabulous guest started her career as a painter and a magician's assistant, but has since gone on to become one of Australia's most exciting new writing talents. Lorraine Peck is the author of The Second Son, which won the 2021 Ned Kelly Award for Best Debut Crime Fiction from the Australian Crime Writers Association. I can't wait to hear all about her next creative endeavours. Please give a very warm welcome to the brilliant Lorraine Peck. Hello. How are you? It's great to have you on the show. Oh, sweet. Wow, interesting journey from being sawn in half on stage to now writing crime. Tell us how all this came about.
Well, I think there are some similarities between being a magician's assistant and being a crime thriller author, because both are about distraction and subterfuge. So as an assistant, a magician's assistant, I would be distracting the audience in some way. Look over here, look over here. And as a crime writer, you're sort of doing the same thing when you're writing a book. You're trying to lead the reader down a couple of false paths so they don't guess who's the killer too quickly. You've got to take them on a journey. So subterfuge, I think.
Yes, distraction.
Distraction.
And what is your creative process? Where do you get your ideas from?
A lot of my ideas come from my life and some of the things I've done, and particularly the men I've been married to, interestingly. I think I'm attracted to bad boys. So I have had some experiences that really impacted my book, The Second Son, and inspired some of the characters. But when it comes to writing fiction, you do have to just kind of see it unfolding in front of you as you're writing. And I'm one of those people. Does this happen to you? You know, when someone's driving you, you're not driving. Someone's driving you on a really twisty, windy road up a steep hill. So it's a big, steep cliff there. Do you imagine the car going off? I do. Yeah. Right?
I hope it doesn't, but yes, I'm like, oh.
I imagine it. Yeah, I'm always imagining these crazy things happening. Yeah, so I have to sometimes shut my eyes and shut down my imagination, because it's that wild imagination that helps me write crime thrillers.
Amazing. No, I mean, I must admit, when we go a bit close, I'm like, oh, eyes on the road.
Eyes on the road.
You can see it happening, but you don't, of course, want it to.
No, exactly.
You've worked in many different locations around the world, US, Asia, Middle East. What's taken you on such a vast journey, Lorraine?
Well, I was very lucky towards the end of my corporate career to work for a global real estate agency who had offices all over the world. And I was their go-to retail expert. So whenever they were building a big retail precinct, I would be sort of flown in to help with the leasing and launching of that, staffing it, etc. So I did that in Dubai. So every month I would spend a week in Dubai, or a week in Macau, or a week in Singapore every month. So I was always flying around the world. Business class, I might add, which was really nice.
Not too bad.
It was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah.
But too much flying can be not
Yes.
as glamorous as you think it is.
Yes, yes.
But
can
it
be
was
quite
fun.
exhausting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you've worn many hats. What's the superpower, do you think, that you bring to each role?
I've been thinking about this. I think I'm very driven. I want to do my best for everything that I do. And my career's grown really organically,
Yes.
just kind of doing my best.
Yes.
And then someone will ask me to step up into something new.
Yes.
And yes, because, you know, I left school as a high school student and didn't have any formal tertiary education. So everything I've done, I've learned on the street. Yeah. Just learning as I go.
Yes.
And I'm always doing my best. So is that ambition? It's sort of a bit of a dirty word for women to say I'm ambitious.
Yes.
They sound like they're aggressive and so on. But I think I am ambitious. I think I'm driven and I think I'm driven to do my best. So that's what I do.
Yes.
And I manifest. I'm very good at manifesting.
Yes. Now, how good's that?
Yeah.
How good's the manifesting?
I love it.
Oh, honestly, I never used to do it. I probably never trusted it. And then I thought, I'm just going to go all in here and see if I can manifest X, Y, and Z. I'm like, oh, and it happened. I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this.
It's amazing.
I call myself a grounded woo-woo.
Yes. So maybe that's our superpower.
Yes, maybe it is. Yes, absolutely. And mentors. Who have been your mentors? Who inspires you?
I have two girlfriends who are incredibly inspiring. Maz Farrelly, who runs she's a keynote speaker. Yes. And she's a brilliant coach for me. And also my darling best friend, Sharon Elliott Dunn, who is a life coach. And she started to learn how to be a life coach when I was learning how to be an author, and she would coach me and I would coach her. And then Maz and Sharon and I, we all coach each other and we just support each other. We are our own biggest cheerleaders. And we each have different skills that we bring to the table. But they're my mentors.
Oh, and it's so important to have that tight circle of people that can support you. Yeah, that's amazing. And your book, The Second Son, won the Ned Kelly Award. You need to take us through that journey because that is, firstly, congratulations. Give her a round of applause. That is absolutely brilliant. Take us through that journey.
Something I prepared earlier. Something I prepared earlier. Yeah, the second son, I wrote it while I was, I'd just been diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And I started this writing course, the first draft writing course with the Writers Studio. And I was really thankful that I had that to do while I was going through that journey. So during the first draft course, I wrote the first draft of this book. And then I did a second writing course out of London online, the same one Jane Harper did, and Curtis Brown course. And at the end of that course, you have the opportunity to show your first, your opening to the agents there. And Alice Lutchins, who's Jane Harper's agent, said, I want to represent you. So she helped me with more drafts of the book. And then before I knew it, I was sitting in front of HarperCollins and Text Publishing and trying to decide which publisher I should go with. And I went with Text. And then there's more redrafts and more redrafts. And then finally, this was published last year.
Congratulations!
So, the last draft, I have to tell you about the last draft. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So, this book, kind of first draft, ovarian cancer, last draft, breast cancer. It's my lucky charm because it got me through both of those. Yeah. So.
Wow. That's amazing. I'm so lucky to have been gifted a copy of your lucky charm. Thank you. What are you working on at the moment?
The sequel is called The Double Bind. It's coming out in April next year.
Okay.
Yeah. So this book is about a crime family in Western Sydney. Loosely, Johnny Novak, the protagonist, the main character, is based on my husband, who's Croatian. So it's a Croatian crime family because he was left school at 14. He was dyslexic and he was absolutely going to be a criminal. and in fact was. But he pulled himself out of that and became a successful businessman instead. And my first husband was actually a career criminal. He was you
do like the naughty boys.
I know. He was the linchpin between the Sinaloan cartel and the Boston Mafia. But when I met him, he was retiring from that. And he was my first husband. So he really informed the character of Amy Novak, who's Johnny Novak, the second son's wife. And she's a nice middle-class girl who just happened to fall in love with a gangster. So that's kind of how this story unfolds. Their world implodes when the first son is gunned down in the street and the second son, Johnny, has to step up and take revenge. So the second book is the sequel to this one.
Gosh. Can you not see this being a movie? It sounds amazing. I can't wait to read it. Now, getting noticed in the publishing industry is not an easy thing. So you seem to be in the right room, but what advice would you maybe give to others?
Well, firstly, you've got to write the book.
Yes.
So do courses. They're fabulous. The first draft writing course with the Writer Studio in Sydney, you can do it online. That's how I did it. I'd recommend that really highly because writing your first draft of a book is the hardest thing and they kind of hold you by the hand.
Yes.
And so do the courses, get the book ready, and then send it to agents who you do some research on. So there are lots of great literary agencies in Australia. Go through them, find the agent that speaks to you and write a pitch letter and send your book off. And also enter your book in unpublished manuscript prizes. Now, Jane Harper entered her first book, The Dry, in the Victorian Premier's Unpublished Manuscript Award and won it.
Oh, wow.
So then she got the agent and the publishing deal, which was really smart. So look for those prizes too. Yeah.
That's fabulous. That's so great. Well done. And so when's the next book coming out for you?
April
next year.
Yeah.
Fantastic. How exciting. Oh, that's fantastic. Give her a round of applause. I've got some fun questions for you now as we wrap up. So we have a section called Time Out. This segment is a travel section. A lot of people have obviously been bursting to get out during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And you've travelled a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you some really quick, fast, fun questions, all right?
I'm ready.
So now you win the lottery tomorrow. Where are you travelling first?
The Greek islands.
Okay, why?
Because I haven't been since I was 18.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What is your favourite aspect about travelling?
Sitting on a balcony somewhere overlooking the sea with my husband and saying, how good is this?
Look what we manifested.
Yeah.
What is the weirdest food you've ever tried while travelling?
It would have to be fried grasshoppers in Mexico.
Okay.
Kinda
I was
crunchy.
hungry, but I'm now not.
They're kind of
Were they
crunchy.
okay?
Yeah, they were really fried quite hard, so they were just
Okay.
crunchy and a bit hot and spicy.
Okay. What are your signs of being a travel addict?
The desire to pack a suitcase every 3 weeks still really hits me
Oh.
because I was doing that every 3 weeks in my
Wow.
working life. And now when I reach that 3-week point, I go,
Where am I
right,
going?
where can we go? We go on a road trip. Go anywhere. Yeah.
For me, I think it'd be leaving the bag packed in the corner of the room and washing it on the next holiday. Ready to go and walk out the door.
Yes.
Have you ever hitchhiked?
Yes.
If not, would you? You have. Oh, okay. Tell us about that.
I grew up on the northern beaches of Sydney and we had a really terrible bus service. So we all hitchhiked. And our way of remaining safe was to put a rock in our handbags.
Oh.
Right. So, you're 15 and you've told your mum and dad that you're staying at a friend's place and then you go down to Newport Arms instead and you have to hitch. Oh, God.
Oh.
And, of course, one of my friends, Trudy Adams, went missing.
Oh,
She was a friend of mine. So remember her, Trudy Adams? Anyway, that stopped that. I stopped after that.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Good plan.
Yes.
Choose one famous person or celebrity to travel with.
Ooh, this is tricky.
Who would you travel with? Famous.
Nelson Mandela
Mm.
would be fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, you'd get a lot of wisdom from
Yes.
him, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going with him.
Okay. Have you ever flown first class?
Yes.
Yes.
Once, coming back from Kuala Lumpur, we couldn't, because it was nearly Christmas time, I was travelling with one of my colleagues from work, and we couldn't get on any other flights. We had to come back first class Malaysian Airlines to Sydney, and that was hilarious. They offered us champagne and caviar, and then we just kept asking for more and more.
Free supply, keep it coming.
we were really obnoxious.
Oh,
Yeah.
What's your favourite city out of all the ones you've been to?
Praiano.
Praiano.
It's not a city, it's a tiny little
Okay.
town near Positano.
Oh,
in
now
Amalfi.
you're talking my language.
love Yeah.
Okay.
I can put myself back there
Oh,
like that.
Okay, I need to know about that one.
Yeah.
And what would you do if you didn't have to work?
Well, I kind of got my dream job now because I'm a writer. I can go anywhere I want and write. So
That's true.
I kind of already am living my
your dream.
best life, travelling again soon. you
Yes.
know. But even just between Sydney and the Gold Coast, because I flip between.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm already living my dream, I
design.
think.
Love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's give it up for Lorraine Peck. Thank you so much for being on our show. Absolutely brilliant. Pauline Longdon is an award-winning global copywriter and runs a successful business as the Copy Alchemist. She has an incredible way with words and is hired by countless brands and businesses to help them convert millions of dollars worth of sales through marketing and direct sales campaigns. But it wasn't always the case for Pauline. She has an incredible story to share with us today on how she went from army nursing major to world-renowned copy genius. Please welcome Pauline to the Girlfriend Hour Couch. Hello, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for being on our show. You look amazing.
Thank you.
You're a rock star anyway. Tell us, we need to know, like, how do you go from army major nurse to becoming the Copy Alchemist?
Well, it was quite a journey and a transformation. It was kind of the thing I needed to do because when I got to Army Major, a twist of fate, which was kind of cruel, I got diagnosed with major depression, which is, major, got promoted to major and got major depression. I said, can you please demote me so I can get less depression?
Less depression. Oh.
But, anyway, it was funny now, but it wasn't funny at the time. But basically I needed to change my profession and I was told that I wasn't ever going to nurse again. And so I had to find something else to do. And so I got out of the army and became a businesswoman and
And it was quite an unexpected path to go from being a nurse in the army, diagnosed with depression. What was the link to then become a copywriter?
Well, there was a little bit before copywriter. I was told I'd never nurse again, so I just accepted that as my fate, right or wrong. I'm glad I did, actually. And then I went into business, and then my business was going okay, but I needed to know marketing. And then someone said, oh, the words are wrong, so why don't you learn copywriting? And that was just the fuel I needed to do to actually learn that amazing skill.
That was a gift. And the contributing factors that led to your depression diagnosis, what were they?
Yeah, well, in the army, they normally just send you on a deployment and then they bring you home and then they give you a rest. Well, I went to East Timor 6 weeks back, went to Solomon Islands, came back for another couple of weeks, and they threatened to send me somewhere else. And I said, hey, I'm done. So that's it. No more.
Yeah, good for you. What advice would you give people who might be suffering from depression?
It's pretty hard because, I was high functioning. I didn't really think that I had depression, except for then one day I became aware that I was when I was driving to work, I was just bawling my eyes out. And then I was just but was that menopause? Was that something weird? No, it was depression. But what I would say is if you do have depression, find what works for you. You know, just don't just take that, that you have to take medication. I'm not against medication.
Yes.
Just find the therapy or whatever works for you, because I couldn't take medication because they almost poisoned me with it. So I had to go off it. So I had to find something that was non-drug. But that was mine, Shar. I mean, what I would say is just find your own path, what works for you.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And there isn't one rule that fixes everyone, is there?
No.
And so if you're watching this at home and you might be struggling and you may not even quite realise it, just keep looking for those moments of joy within your life. Would you say that? It's like moment to moment of joy and piece them all together.
Exactly.
And you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
Yeah. Just know that depression also is a dirty cheater, gaslighter. It makes you think that you're special. It's telling these stories. Yeah. But it tells everyone the same story. It lacks creativity. Like, so boring.
I want to be different here.
Kick them out. Like, they're lying to you.
I love that. How did you come to realise that writing was actually your true calling?
Well, I started to do writing for my own business, and then people said, hey, who's doing your writing for your business? And I went, me. Yeah, and they went, can you do mine? And I went, oh, all right. And then I realised I could charge money for it, significant money. Yeah. And, so then I just transitioned into copywriting. I love it.
Now, it's not – everyone looks at Pauline now. She's world-renowned. She's sought after by some very, very big companies around the world to do their copy. But it wouldn't have been that at the start. So how did you actually get started in business? How did you put yourself out there in the early days?
Social media is like a gift. Tell people what you're doing. Like, don't be like the world's best kept secret in anyone. Yes. Whether you're a copywriter or anyone, just get yourself out.
Lost mic.
Tell people what you're doing.
Oh, we're back. Sorry. We'll just ask that one again.
Okay.
I'll ask that one again.
Yep.
Okay. Now, starting a new career is not always easy, and I'm sure you didn't just go from what you were doing to world-renowned copywriter. So how did you get started? How did you put yourself out there?
Yeah, well, social media is such a gift these days, isn't it? I mean, you can like say something in Brisbane and someone over in LA or wherever in the world. So that's how I got my name out there. And now I'm doing a lot of copy coaching and I get people chasing after me and
literally running down the street, come back.
Yeah, it's like, get away,
back boundaries.
Yeah, exactly.
Pauline, as we wrap up, what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Well, I like the Gandhi thing of being the change you want to see in the world, but I think what I like and linked to depression and just, everything in life is that light can go into darkness, but darkness can't go into light. So just remember you have that light inside you. Shine that out into the world and you will naturally be the change you want to see in the world, won't you?
Absolutely.
Shine your light. That's it.
Oh, let's give it up for Pauline. What an amazing woman. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Thank you. What an amazing woman. This segment was proudly sponsored by the Loan Suite. Well, I'm feeling inspired and my cup is full to the brim. I absolutely loved learning from each of our guests today. I'm blown away by hearing all the incredible ways these women are helping others find success. What was your favourite part? Are there any new ideas that are brewing in your head? What tidbits are you looking forward to sharing with your friends? Tell us over on our Facebook page, please. Thank you to Liz Cleft International for dressing me, Kix for giving me these super cool shoes, Feminescence Magazine, Be Styled for Life, and each and every one of you for loving our show. I hope I have been worthy of your time. Okay, girlfriends, until next time on the Girlfriend Hour. Thank you so much. That was amazing. You are wonderful. Well done. Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you so much. Yay!
You're awesome.
Fantastic. Well done.